Hello, Gelato Familia. It's George, the Disney Italiano, coming to you from the Disneyland Hotel. Unfortunately, this isn't even our last day. This is checkout day. We are leaving. Our checkout is at 11. But before we do, I thought I'd do a little video to kind of treat you guys that we're going to put on our Walt Disney Imagineering thinking caps on, and we're going to do some hard questioning of what is going to go beyond of what's in front of me. Now, what's in front of me, you ask? The Simba parking lot, because that is actually our view from our room. Honestly, I couldn't have asked for a better view of anything. I know a lot of people love having theme park views. They love having garden views. They love having pool views. This is a parking lot view, but you know what? This parking lot in particular holds the key, no pun intended, to a lot of Disneyland's future, particularly for Disney California Adventure, because more so, this parking lot is going to become future expansion for DCA. So, honestly, if we ever stay here again, I'm going to request, can we have a room view for the Simba parking lot? Because I already know what, the location. Frontier Tower, floor 7, room 2593. I'll literally request it, see if I can get it if it's not occupied. But I'm very curious too of that when they do start any construction, whoever does get this room, I mean, you get a bird's eye view of like the best construction you could ever find. So, and then obviously probably by that time, the pricing for the rooms will be skyrocketed like everything else. But I'm going to flip the camera over and we're going to take a look at what this could possibly become in the future for the Disneyland Resort. So let's get to it. Now, I will say, folks, there is a little bit of a glare because obviously I'm standing in front of a window. But if I could zoom in a little bit, you could still see in detail of, the whole entire Simba parking lot. And as you can see, I mean, there's a big chunk of land that's holding this parking lot. I mean, if you really remove all these cars and take out the lampposts and flatten everything out, I mean, that's a substantial amount of room that would literally be adjacent to the already existing DCA, which is over that direction. This building right here that we're looking at right now, I do apologize for the sun glare, is the Pixar Place Hotel. And if you see that little dome building, it's not little, but from where we stand, that's peeking out from the side of Pixar Place is part of the Anaheim Convention Center, which holds the biannual D23 Ultimate Fan Event. So in between that space is, again, already the existing DCA, Disney California Adventure Park, which is over by the Pixar Pier area, which shortly Disney filed permits for the construction, which is untitled. They're not calling it anything at the moment, and they didn't say what it's for, but we all pretty much have an idea that it's going to be for the Coco boat ride, because they said that the construction got pushed up to late 2025. The Halloween season is practically ending, which will stop the parade route for Oogie Boogie Bash, and that's going to be the area that is going to be for the entrance to the new Coco ride. So I would say my prediction that I've been saying for months now, again, after the Halloween season is over, at the beginning of the Christmas holiday season, they will start construction on that. So probably I'd say look out for it November 3rd on. And I will be at the park if there's any movement to bring you guys the breaking news. But we already kind of knew that. So we're going to come back to the Simba parking lot. And I want to know from you guys, please comment down below what you think the future holds into this into this lot? What is going to be the expansion of DCA? What is going to be the identity of Disney California Adventure? I mean, there's only so much you can do with the California theme. And I think the route that Disney's going with all its IPs, there's not really an IP out there anymore that really has to do with California. And I'm assuming if they do decide to keep California in the park's name, I feel like it's just going to be, you're going to live out your adventure and it's in the state of California because the theme park is in the state of California. That could be the only way that they can kind of get away with the title, that it's not going to be a California adventure, but more so an adventure in California, if that makes sense. So that way they can use anything. Personally, what I would have done, and I've said this many times before also, Pandora should be going in this parking lot. I know that it would be, a ways off, but you know what? So are the movies. James Cameron is one that pays attention to detail and wants everything perfect in his eyes of what his vision is for his Avatar franchise. So I don't think that he would have a problem with waiting for Pandora to be opened in the parks if it was done correctly. Animal Kingdom was another beast, no pun intended, because they have all the room that they can possibly, put it in. And the organic nature feel of Pandora fits so well in the Animal Kingdom theme park. Now, again, I am one of those people that said, how in the world is Avatar going to fit in Animal Kingdom? They're nuts. They're crazy. Why are they doing this? But they proved me wrong, and I think they proved a lot of other people wrong. So I feel like that Disney can repeat history with that. But it's not the fact that I'm questioning... Well, I am questioning a little bit why it is going into DCA. I think it would have done much better at Disneyland, in between Tomorrowland and Fantasyland, kind of unkink the monorail, the subs, the motorboat area, and the Autopia. Now, but it's not going that way. So they're putting it in DCA, which is okay, it's fine. But the location of Disney Hollywood Studios is like, why? I mean, sorry, not Disney Hollywood Studios. I do apologize. Disney's Hollywoodland at DCA. Why it is going there, and it's being shoved into a corner. We do know that Monsters Inc. Mike and Sully to the Rescue is going to be removed regardless. Hopefully they reutilize the set pieces and the animatronics for Hollywood Studios, that's what I meant to say, for Monsters Inc. Land, which I think Disney confirmed that it's going to be called just Monstropolis, which I'm perfectly fine with that. I love when it's actually naming the location and not just saying like the movie and land, it's like, I don't really care for that too much. Toy Story Land. Anyway, so what I would have done is, you have a blank canvas right here. Once the Eastern Gateway, gets underway, and this frees up, all the parking lot areas, because you'll have a ginormous parking structure that's going to be bigger than Mickey and Friends and Pixar Pals combined. I mean, literally, Disney had this ready from the first attempt from the Eastern Gateway, when they purchased the Carousel Inn that's across the street, and they demolished it to make room for all this. So, I mean, now that Disney and the city of Anaheim are now seeing eye to eye on things, I mean, this is, in Disney's favor. And honestly, even for the city of Anaheim as well. I mean, I think it's a win-win for all. But put Pandora over here. As I said, it's a blank canvas. You can do so much. And you can literally, now again, I know it, you have to have some room, because with the, it's, up against to where the residential and business area is, you have to have the sound barrier, and then plus the backstage area and the show building and the show queue and the facades and everything. But I would kind of put it in this catty corner area right here. That's where I would put Pandora. And then just kind of, because it's separate from everything else. And then depending on what else you put in here, that would complement Pandora. Now, what I would put in Hollywoodland would be Zootopia. I mean, it's already a hot franchise. Well, IP. Now it's soon to be a franchise because Zootopia 2 is going to be released this coming month in November, which I'm very excited to see. But I would put Zootopia over at Hollywoodland. It's a perfect transition from the Buena Vista Street into the strip of Hollywoodland, and then you move into the world of Zootopia. I mean, it's perfect. You can keep the monorail. You can, you're going to keep the monorail no matter what, but you can showcase it where you don't have to hide it. Because it has that very metropolitan cityscape, that could fit into the world of Zootopia. So yeah, Pandora, I would put in this, making it a little blurry there for you, caddy corner right there. And again, it'll separate from everything else. Now, what else could possibly go in this parking lot? Again, it's really your pick. I mean, at the time of this recording, we're only going to be looking at the IPs that are currently existing. Now, again, this whole parking lot isn't going to be filled up for many years, possibly into the next couple decades, really, because Disney likes to rotate, things, and they're not just going to spend time just on DCA. They're going to go back to Disneyland Park, which you have the Lilo and Stitch parking lot that's going to be part of Disneyland Park's park expansion. And then, of course, the Toy Story parking lot, which we all know, I'm sorry, that's a given. Almost 75 acres, that's going to be Disneyland's third gate. That's what it is, folks. I'm sorry. It's not going to be all hotels. I'm for sure they'll add a hotel, maybe that'll be adjacent to the third park, sort of like how they did with Fantasy Springs over at Tokyo, or how they're doing theme parks nowadays, like Universal's Epic Universe with Grand Helios and what have you. But it's not just going to be a parking lot turned into 10 different hotels for 2 theme parks. That's crazy. And I'm sorry, it is not going to be a Disney Springs 2.0. They're already updating and growing out Downtown Disney. You still have Garden Walk, which eventually I think Disney's also going to purchase that in the near future for future expansion. Maybe not for theme parks, but for the long-term goal of what they can own and what they can do with it. So, and this is the city of Anaheim. I mean, there's shopping plazas all over the place. We literally just came from a shopping outdoor plaza mall in Orange County that we went to go see a movie last night. So, I mean, they're everywhere. So why would you waste almost 75 acres, the amount of space that currently holds DCA right now, and not make it a third gate? I feel like that's Disney's long-term goal with Disneyland Forward. So I'm getting back to this parking lot in particular. So as I was saying, I feel like we're just looking at the IPs now, but as time goes on, new IPs will be coming out, and hopefully they're more successful than what Disney's slate at the studios is now, that they would consider, moving along in here, such as Disney's Hexed. If that's a tremendous hit, they may consider putting that somewhere in here. It would definitely work out very well with the Halloween season, because they said it's supposed to be like a Halloween-based kind of spooky, non-spooky, in Disney's taste, type of movie. Non-musical, though. I'm very disappointed with that. But they said there's going to be a substantial villain. So, I mean, hopefully we can get a substantial villain death. I'm sorry, I love a good Disney villain death when it's done properly. I know that seems very dark and morbid, but hey, that's me. Anyway, no, I'm not really dark and morbid, but I mean it definitely brings a complexity to the story and to the character, that it's just a villain you love to hate, that you just want to see being taken down, So anyway, I digress. So anything else that could be put in here, as I said, definitely comment down below on your thoughts and opinions. of what's going to go here. As I said, Avatar, I think, would be a must over here. I could even maybe see them doing like a Fantasy Springs-esque, maybe not in the same way as it is over Tokyo, because again, I don't know what the logistics behind the fine print of the contract between Disney and the Oriental Land Company when it comes to like how they utilize the IP with the same kind of like ride system and mechanisms and all that stuff, if it's like a 10-year or a 5-year contract, per attraction. But any case, but they can do a Fantasy Springs kind of esque land where you have like 3 mini lands that make up one land. Now again, it doesn't have to be in the fantasy realm style. You could save that for Disneyland, but you can do really anything that would complement each other. To like, for instance, like Fantasy Springs, they have Frozen, Tangled, and Peter Pan's Neverland. So again, staying out of the realm of fantasy, but you can kind of do something like that here as well. I know a lot of people were also talking that, they can put Tron here. I personally don't want to see Tron come here. Keep that at Magic Kingdom. It'll take up a lot of room just for a roller coaster. I mean, I know that they can do different things with it, but I just feel like Tron, especially now after the release of Tron Ares, that I think Disney doesn't really want to go that route anymore. I think the only reason why it was going into Magic Kingdom in the first place is it was a hot, not necessarily IP, but it was a hot attraction of how they utilized the light cycles for the roller coaster that was very popular in Shanghai Disney. And us over here were craving something like that in the domestic park, so Disney delivered that. But I think moving forward, that was pretty much a one and done after putting it in Shanghai Disney. They could possibly maybe do something with Moana. I mean, we know that she's very a hot franchise after the sequel and the soon-to-be live-action remake of the first movie that's going to be coming out. And I think they're already working on a Moana 3. So they can kind of do, like, I don't want to call it like a knockoff of Adventureland, but you can do kind of like a Hawaiian, Polynesian, South Pacific Isle kind of thing, where you can utilize Moana and then maybe even utilize Lilo and Stitch. So you can kind of, utilize in that same realm. And again, kind of going off what I was saying about the Fantasy Springs, of how you can find different IP that would complement each other. So yeah, I mean, that's just a few of my thoughts. As I said, I really want to hear what you guys think. Please comment down below your thoughts, opinions, ideas. Get creative. An idea is never a bad idea. It can, WDI does it all the time, and even if it doesn't get greenlit right away, it gets shelved, and many, many, many years later, it could be utilized in the realm of what they intended to, or it could be used for something else in a different format. So I would love to hear from you guys. Please like, subscribe, and we will catch you on the next one. I'm George, the Disney Italiano, and as I always say in Disney Italiano fashion, stay safe, stay healthy, stay Disney. Italiano